Hello, welcome to Rojo Tarot. I want to sing a song. That was very like last minute. Like I was just about to press, but my camera did on its own. And now I just want to sing. Selua saya Maria. Krian wata lumatseya. Heya Otulu Esena Maria Natura Salu Mbani Asaya Allahu Asau. This energy of me singing randomly and just and the fact that also a specific song is coming through, and that I'm also trying not to sing it and trying to choose a different one, and the fact that I can't choose a different one because I'm also channeling, right? And it just wants to keep coming through. Alto alta de mar de la Alaya Maya Kesea Karma Saya Haya Maria Ka Watulu Arwasa Haya Maria Karimo Salama Wahavo Mikiavo. Okay, so I'm getting that somebody's gonna want to say hello. Somebody's gonna want to say hello. Or somebody has already said hello and asked you how you are, and then you reply with, I'm good, and how are you? Interesting. Oi! We have a death and rebirth, baby! Somebody is saying hello. And we have Queen Jezebel, so the magnetic royal witch. Somebody is coming to say hello. there's a death and rebirth here, okay? I was getting a death and rebirth of this idea of Jezebel because underneath magnetic royal witch. So it's these two opposing sides of likely what people have seen you to be, have maybe projected upon you. And that's okay. You know, people have projections. People unfortunately also they get herded. They get herded in different ideas and thoughts, and they just become sheep. And I'm not saying that, you know, sitting in a place of power or anything. I've also been there. I think a lot of us have, and I think a lot of us still are. In different ways, in also different aspects of everyone's life. Yeah, because the thing that's interesting here is that the perception that people have is that you put yourself on a throne, but they call you Queen Jezebel, or they think that you're like this. You might have freaking, you know, aspects to yourself that are a bit more eccentric, a bit more free in expressing, and it might be seen as that, and that's up to them. Like, it's not your problem. But the fact that certain thoughts like that might prevent you from putting a crown on your head despite you already sitting in the throne. You know, she looks like she's heavily in thought and being like, like, people probably think this and this and this. Bro, there's a death and rebirth to that, baby. It's already happened. You don't give a fuck. I'm sorry for cursing, but that's what's coming through. Oh, she's even wearing that red lipstick here. Or this might even be somebody that you know that's coming, that is also a witch or considers themselves a witch. They're coming in with red lipstick, or they might like to wear red lipstick. Or different, like, more colorful shades of lipstick, stuff like this. Interesting. We have Eve here. So, I think also, if this person is you, you might be this person as well, who you also like to wear red lipstick, and that's okay. Red lipstick is pretty. You know, do you get what I'm trying to say here? Like, I was also raised with a mother who also loved red lipstick, who also wore red lipstick. Could be a mother. I'm seeing the wind blow. It could be a mother. And the fact that also my mother tongue came through when I said Salama Ohavo. This is Makua. And, you know, it's a language in Mozambique. One of the indigenous local languages, so let's just say like this, because it's not the official, because freaking official government language is Portuguese still. And she does have a tear here. Yeah. She does have a tear in her eye. It's kind of sad, though. Because it's kind of sad how other people's projections and thoughts that maybe you even had on other people, that they can influence you like that. Like, I'm also getting she's sort of sitting there. And it looks like she's thinking about everything. And like, nah. Yeah, also in a way not really caring about the crown and just sitting there in deep thought. So there's something about a death and rebirth when it comes after thinking about what she's been thinking about. And I think that comes to Eve, divine feminine, confirmation, feminine awakening. It's this also hypersexualization that's coming through again. Because with the Eve card in one of my previous readings, Adam is actually holding an apple himself here, but Eve was the one to bite it first, because also the snake whispered in her ear. Now, the serpent, the snake, is also known for deaths and rebirths. How, they also shed skin, they also transform. But within that transformation, it's like people have to adjust around you. They have to adjust to how they used to see you, how they used to perceive you, because here they're both naked. And the fact that Jezebel energy here as well is some people even perceive you as being a Jezebel type of energy. Maybe that is because of the way that you look, the way that you are, the kind of personality that you have. And they cannot look past that because, listen, also the fact that the naked bodies are here, it's like, I just have that feeling that some people just cannot look past a naked body. Some people cannot just look past the physical and look internally. They just get so fixated on what's physical. He is also standing here whilst the snake is whispering in her ear. He's like standing there waiting to see what will happen, to see if he can also bite into the apple, because he's scared. Because, she's like, fuck it. Again, sexual alchemy. Scorpio. This, because I'm also getting, it's falling under Queen Jezebel and a bit of Eve here. We could be dealing with a Scorpio sign. Okay? This person that you're dealing with could be a Scorpio, or you could be a Scorpio, or just the vibes. Death and rebirth. Scorpios are very good at fucking and then, moving on with what's meant for them. Or at least that's what I learned from somebody that I know and people that I know that tend to be Scorpios. But there's something about this sexual energy here. Okay, there's a sexual alchemy. That's beautiful, because we were talking about death and rebirth and like people viewing you in a different way, in a different direction. So this sexual energy that maybe you emit, although it might have been, perceived as something else, it is part of this divine feminine awakening. It is just who you are. You see how snakes move. There's like, it's just like they're snakes. Like I don't understand why you'd want a snake to behave like something that it's not. And why would all of these negative perceptions, or like the fact that they look at you, why would that have anything to do with who you are? A snake moves like this, belly dancing. You know how that was also something also sexualized. Men just watching, bodies. Women And they say men take advantage of them. They're the ones who let themselves get taken advantage of. Like, women are literally dancing there. They're dancing, and they can dance whatever they want, whatever energy they choose to emit as well. The fact that people can just entrance you like that you, whoever is interested, men, women, I'm not just saying just men, women interested in dancing figures, this show of sexuality, of movement, of it's really interesting because as a kid I'd also watch TV, and I'd see how these rising stars would also do things in a way that seemed over sexualized. But then I was like, why am I looking at it as over sexualization? If nobody told me that it was over sexualization, if I hadn't been raised by people who thought and who called people that who moved like that who called them certain names without even properly knowing the person, without really understanding their ways of expression. Multiplication, your higher self, 43. Yeah. What I'm getting is also within this death and rebirth and this divine feminine awakening and this sexual energy. It's quite interesting also that this is coming through, because it's something that I'm also realizing now that clicks and makes sense. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how active you guys are. I don't mean to also say it like that, but you might have also been feeling a type of sexual energy that has been arising in your own body, or you're shifting a different perspective. You're looking at your body as well. You're shifting your own I think this is what it is. You're shifting your own perspective of how you view yourself. What other people made you feel to be. That maybe also made you feel unworthy to even feel the sexual energy, to even be empowered by it, because a lot of the time it's your superpower. It is something that also comes from you rawly, purely, and so full of divine power. It's a way of channeling. The movement of the snake, like the way that your chakras are aligned and the rotation of your hips. If something about you also being able to focus, align. I'm getting that your higher self is also calling you to reapproach this idea of who you are and things that have to do with how you feel sexually. Because what I'm also feeling is that it might have also been something that has been taken from you in a type of way, or the idea of it being taken from you is something that you've maybe been thinking about. Also sacral energy, but I also find it very heavily that it's something in your mind. And it might also be uncomfortable to look at and to sit with yourself, because also there might be that thing in your body that just for a long time thought sex was bad, or sex was this, and if you did that, then it means that you're that. And it's just like, what the fuck is your problem, bro? '26 in reverse Mars, drive, energy, and passion. You see, the fact that the male symbol is also in reverse here, it could also have to do with your masculine side. Not saying that your feminine side cannot be driven by energy and passion. Just, I guess it came through as also remembering that you have two things that people like to categorize as feminine and masculine, but really they're also just energy. It's just energy. I'm just getting, people say that women come from Venus and men come from Mars. Which is really interesting. Because it just made me think, if men were supposed to come from Mars, how is it that they had a lot of men without being able to reproduce? Without having like a woman's body to plant their seeds in. And also, if women came from Venus, how were they also able to reproduce if they didn't have something to seed them? So something about both parties. Needing one another. Jupiter, expansion, prosperity, and growth. It came in reverse. Yeah. I'm also getting that we were talking about reproducing, right? Planting seeds, and and then it reminds me of Virgin Mary. And she said that she was blessed with a child. Now, what I wonder is, in all of the times that she was who she was she praying for a child? You know, was she asking for a child in order for her to be blessed with one? Or was she raped at some point, doesn't remember, and was like, fuck, like I've got a kid? And, you know, Jesus' name just looked like a miracle. Which made me think of Life of Brian. Oh Lord. Oh Lordy Lordy. Yeah, you might be someone who comes from the UK or something like this, around there. I'm not saying that only people from there say Lordy Lordy, but the ones that I know and have had the pleasure of meeting. Yeah. Yeah, Ashera, Mother of the Gods. It's this energy of having your sexual energy be in a way blocked before by you, by a whatever situation, trauma, other people, spell work. And just like that, magic. As I said, spell work. Magic, imagination, and illusion. Bitch. Excuse me. Ah! Neptune. Yeah. Like all of, like the things that are in reverse here. So, mother of the gods, being one with the planet and Mother Gaia. This idea of fertility without fear, without hesitation. Magic, imagination, and illusion. What I'm getting is all in your mind. Right? So, whoever you are, if you've been feeling these blocks, I'm here to also remind you. Your ancestors are likely also behind you, and they guided you to probably watch this as well. You felt it in your heart to watch this as well. Because it's it's all magic, imagination, and illusions. Don't let something so powerful inside of you that you can bring upon yourself be tied to another person. That's what I'm also getting, because you might have also felt like you can only release yourself in that way if it's with somebody, a specific person, or just anybody in general. It's not true. Not at all. In fact, you having the ability to be able to do that in your body, it just makes sense, bro. Like, I remember certain things. This is coming through as well. Pleasing yourself. As you grow up, you learn about this. Other religions say you can't do that, it's bad, and it means that this and this and this is disgusting, blah blah blah. We have the ability to please ourselves for a reason. We have the ability to use that as a way to also release what needs to be released, to feel centered in ourselves, to remember our power, to realign, to be able to be comfortable in this passion and energy that just comes rawly out of your solar plexus, connecting to all of your chakras. And I know I'm saying that now, like, don't let those things stop you. And I'm not saying fucking go crazy. No. But I am saying that when you feel it, listen to your body. Let's get one of the medicine heart cards, because they've got really good messages in here, and I'm feeling that they might have something good to say about this as well. Collective of the Southwest. Interesting. Listen. Whale medicine. Mentor evokes the song in your soul that needs to be sung. A whale moves slowly as you tend to your inner work and visionary dreaming. There may be a lull in responsiveness from the world around you. Do not fight your own process. Trust that your inner path will yield divine dividends with grace. Your song shall be heard, emanating high-frequency manifestations. Now, whale song. is significant because whales, they swim very deep. They're also mammals, just like we are. They also have the ability to be fertile. You know, when you feel pleasure, I'm gonna say this, some people are able, or some people, I'm not quite sure how this works, guys. Alright? Like, even myself, I'm learning things about myself, even when it comes to all of this sexual energy and whatever the fuck it means. But when I heard whale song, it's also a song of release, of yeah. Of that climax, of that moment where you reach a state of feeling like like being at the pinnacle of your energy, being able to feel that, the build-up of that. I'm getting that also it might be something about you also not being able to use your voice, maybe because of, yeah, I don't know, the way that you grew up regarding to this. Maybe using your voice is a bit, it's different, it's difficult, it's suppressed, it's like you cannot be loud in your pleasure. You cannot feel like you can be loud in your pleasure because it feels wrong. It's like when people tell you can't laugh even though you want to laugh, and that it's coming naturally, and that you're also laughing for like a really nice, sweet reason. It's not that you're laughing because of something mean, but just because maybe somebody's tickling you. And so you can't help but laugh, right? And just that feeling of being tickled and laughing freely and just laughing so purely is amazing. Not feeling like you need to be scared that you're being too loud. You know, it's that fear. What would other people think? It doesn't matter. But it might also be because you also grew up in, you know, spaces where you didn't have much privacy and where it was something that you'd rather have had on your own, you know, with peace. One more, and then I'll close this reading actually. Or actually, I'm getting something about. I don't know if this is right. The high priest felt like this, but I'll put it back. And it's interesting because in the high priest you also have the passion flowers here. Somebody with the keys. See where her hands are. It's also, yeah, where you find your root chakra. So also where all of this sexual energy also can be generated from. And it was in reverse. So it almost feels like, and it falls on top of the Queen Jezebel here. It feels like, yes, you are somebody who has a lot of knowledge concerning certain hidden aspects of things. Just like that, I'm looking up at this statue sculpture of Mother Mary. I think she wears the white and she's got blue. I think she's stepping on a snake, actually, in this statue that I'm looking at here. I remember we were talking about the snake and how it moves, and you stepping on that snake, trying to be pure, you know, with the white and everything, and looking. I'm stepping on the snake. The snake doesn't matter to me. Like all I care about is not the snake. I don't really know where I'm going with this. Where are we going? You had the keys, but there was something stopping you. A Rider of Cups in the reverse. Who is this Rider? This Knight of Cups in reverse. Is this somebody else? The Magician upright. And who are you in this situation? Interesting. So, what? I'm getting... So, whoa, dude. Funny. The fact that it also fell slightly on top of the Neptune card, okay? So magic, imagination, and illusion. I'm getting that likely somebody could have wanted to be a magician when it comes to all of this. Either by not coming to you and saying something, or by saying something and you... Oh, I did this. You knowing that it wasn't genuine or truthful. Like, I'm getting that there was likely an energy. Wow, a seagull. An energy that you felt that at some point you felt open to, but something showed you that something showed you otherwise, and that's why you feel like this. That's why you feel like the Knight of Wands in reverse. So Wands energy, passion, fire. You know, like, I always see this as a ring of fire. Johnny Cash, and it fell on top of Mars here, also in reverse. Yeah, so it turns you off in a way. Something is turning you off. It's turning off this energy because, yeah, sexual energy is really strong. You can. People say that you can manifest through that, and when I say manifest, it's just being able to be in this place that energy of whatever you're manifesting feels pretty alive, pretty electric. I also got that somebody could be doing that as well to you, so like manifesting in that way as well, to also cause certain things when it comes to you and your own sexual energy. Take it how it applies. If it's a nudge that you feel you have, nah. Yeah. We also have the World in reverse and the Wheel of Fortune. And the World here, you know, she's being sprouted from a seed. But what I'm getting is, like, because it's in reverse, right? It looks like you're going into the soil, into the soil where roots are still growing. Remember, we're talking about the root chakra. it's like some type of inverse situation is happening, because there is no way that your sexual energy will, you know, even be messed with in that scenario. Yes, maybe there might be times where you feel a lot less inclined, but meanwhile, all of these roots are growing here. And then I also feel that they were also aiding you to also understand your own sexual energy, right? To also take a break and be like, okay, well, what is my relationship to myself in this case, to my own body, to what my body requires, or what I feel like I should give my body? Because what if pleasure is something that I only deserve when I like someone, or when I feel a type of way about somebody else? Or, you know, I feel like there has been a really significant change in your perspective about sexual energy. And with the fortune, with the wheel of fortune here in reverse as well, on top of the Knight of Cups. Yeah, because this High Priestess in reverse, Priester, it just makes me feel like you close that energy off to perhaps even this Knight of Cups. Or because you close that energy off, you also cannot be a Knight of Cup where you can also offer your cup. But I'm getting it's also somebody. And because of that, the Wheel of Fortune is in reverse. So I guess whatever was being thought of being done or said, or something that just isn't falling through anymore. And yeah, the Ace of Cups here, it falls on the Knight of Wands in reverse. And this Ace of Cups is also somebody who expresses immensely their own cup, also expresses who they are emotionally. You see how she is also holding a cup here with a fish in it, also intuition, but the fact that the fish is in a bubble, you know, this magic, this mystic passion. Her hair is red, same as Mars, falls again on top of Neptune and Jupiter, so expansion, prosperity, and da-da-da. Yeah, these illusions have played a role in how you view yourself and your own magic, and who you are, and how you create, and how you see yourself really. But I was gonna say that's okay, because look at where you're at now. You are a Page of Wands despite it. You are looking at all of this and just, you know, I was gonna say just waiting for the sun to set so that death and rebirth can occur. Like one cycle ends, one day ends, or one, you know, thing ends, and then a next is born. You needed this time anyways. You needed this time to reevaluate other aspects of yourself, to be able to later integrate what you learned now with the other things, and with you know, who you are actually at your core, who you are actually at your root, and all, when all your chakras are aligned and feel like you are not blocking them to, you know, in a sabotaging way, but also protection, because you're allowed to protect yourself, but yeah, also not in the extent of not to the extent where you can't even, where you don't even feel like you want to listen to that nudge that you get when you do feel, inspired. Let's just say it like that. And with this newfound energy, new perspective, passion still, because the wand still is here. She's wearing yellow. And I love this. And there are violet colors here. I think that's the color of the throat chakra. Yeah, I mean, this time is coming, baby. Whatever was being done, even by us just talking about it, even by you, us taking a moment to think about it, to reflect on it, about why, and, actually putting words to it and seeing it in front of us, it really helps with us also being able to see it from a different perspective. To also be like, yeah, actually, I have also been feeling that, and I guess it makes sense. And now I want to take action. Now I want to treat myself a bit better. Now that I know what could be going on, I have a better idea of what I can do now. The Page of Pentacles. I think you're somebody who has been dreaming about wanting to build something, a home, a life, and how she's holding this coin by her solar plexus. Period. Is reminding me of the sacral energy, of your aligning of the chakras, okay? That you will be able to, because we have the Page of Wands and we have the Page of Pentacles next to each other. So yeah, it's that now that with this newfound energy, you're gonna go into it differently, do it differently, treat yourself differently. And within that, you're going to be able to unlock and tap into your potential again, unlock and tap into your power again. That's what I'm getting. You're tapping into that again. You're remembering who you are, all of who you are. You've probably been somebody that has been working on their chakras, healing, releasing, and it almost feels like, reaching down to the lower chakras is a bit hesitant, because it's like, like energetically you just feel that it might be a lot. What I'm also getting is that an opportunity like this would be very good to intentionally want to release these things and alchemize these things into this opportunity, into you being able, in your heart, knowing that you are a Page of Pentacles, one that wants to invest and who's passionate and, who has the means to be able to manifest something that's of your dream life. 9 of Pentacles. To be able to provide yourself with the stability that you need after feeling like you had to lock yourself up, or feeling like, you have all of this knowledge, but you keeping it also locked in your root. That's what I'm also getting here with this High Priestess. And it was all just because of illusions and magic and imagination. What we were exposed by. Projections, shit in movies, shit in people's lives, novelas that freaking add so much drama that inspires people to be dramatic in the same way, and then a whole new form of thought also blossoms. But I don't think that matters right now, especially not when you're already building this 9 of Pentacles. I have a feeling that this is going to happen. I'm not saying this that it's a thing that you're gonna choose. It is a thing that you're gonna choose to do because we're talking about it, because we're taking the time to understand it now. Okay, to also be able to give it a space. I keep looking at my flower. I'm sorry. And that, beautiful flowers are here as well. I love that they're also on her antlers. These antlers, also in shamanism, I don't know if that's a way, and not only in shamanism, but antlers also signify higher knowledge and being able to have our extension of our minds be rooted in the above. Whatever that means to you. It's also very majestic, very like, wow, you've got horns growing on your head. Ain't that wow? Like, and deer ears here. Yeah, someone who just wants to be safe. I'm also seeing a bird. Yeah, this bird seems very concerned. I'm getting that this bird is an inner you. You know how we also have death and rebirth here. Birds are significant because if we look at how this bird is looking, its expression in its face, it also looks like, it looks troubled. And this girl is consoling the bird. And what I feel like, whatever you might be holding inside of you, also things that are trapped, things that you didn't know were even there, that make you feel hesitant or stop you from wanting to just be yourself. Like, that's the energy here. Just be yourself and who you are and feel what you feel and honor that, and honor your body and be there for your body, console your body after being able to get and release through whatever is going on here. Queen of Cups. Yeah. Remember we were talking about the antlers? She reminds me of somebody who knows who she is. For some reason, she's also somewhere, in a way, far away from other people. I feel like this is also something that will help you. Because we mentioned it earlier, it might be places as well that make you feel uncomfortable. Situations, people, that also do not make it easy for you to let these things go. Final card. Wow. The 6 of Cups. Sorry, I accidentally managed to get some chia seed pudding on my card. I also had it on my shirt. Ooh, okay, that's really interesting. Because chia seeds, they absorb water and they also create gel-like consistency. Now, if you know what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm trying to say. You know, there's a type of moistening. Sorry, but the picture that got into my mind was somebody here might feel like a desert. And we can laugh about it. And I'm not trying to make it seem like a mean thing. It's just, girl, like, I can also, people can relate. I can relate. Thinking, imagination, thinking that you are this barren desert. Girl, no. No, you have oceans of emotions inside of you. You can't. The only thing that helps you trigger certain things is to be able to allow yourself to enter these oceans of emotions and to be comfortable and safe in who you are and what you do. I think it's a really, really beautiful thing. Because in just doing this, it's like your whole life will change. Your whole outlook of life will be completely different. Because you're also realizing that you have the power to bring yourself pleasure. Not only physically, like materially. Because I'm also feeling that you're a very creative person. You're somebody who has drive. This is why we have the page of Wands here and the page of Pentacles. You have a mission. You have a vision. And it's like this last thing that you need to, that needs to, and I don't want to say needs to, but it's definitely that thing that is like, okay, clear this out so that, that's done, and then we can finally enter this new state. I think this is beautiful. I even want to cry again because it's like, this reading is also helping you realize that thing that you thought was like, why am I feeling blocked, or why are certain things, manifestations not coming in? Like before I was able to do this very well, and now it's like, what the fuck? We know now. Thank you so much, universe, ancestors, spirit guides, yours, mine, who have helped us come to this conclusion today. Because wow, I even feel like a complete reevaluation, re-looking at things now. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, how sometimes you can be sensitive to the way the sun shines, like exactly what time it is when the sun shines a particular way, or exactly what day it is when the sun shines a particular way. Like, you just know it's a Sunday when the sun shines with a certain type of brightness. I don't know if you guys have that, or how the sun shines differently in the weekends compared to the weekdays. Oh, this is giving me very plant people. And when I say plant people, it's reminding me of, I think I might be able to find it for you. Give me a second. Okay. I'm looking through my old sketchbook here, guys. It's a sketchbook that I had since 2022. And I think it's kind of lovely, actually, because I want to say something, because I'm so excited, because also I've been drawn to this for a reason that I'm also realizing now as I sit down. Because on the first page of my sketchbook, it was a moment when I went to a museum or thing with my father, and we were looking at statues, and I was fascinated in learning how to get better at my sketching abilities from real life and from things also created by people's own hands. And hence I'm getting so excited that I can't even speak. And I know that these are naked women. I know YouTube might not be a big fan, but let me just do this, and now you understand. Okay, like, it's also really funny. It's very significant that I say this as well, because I remember when I had my sketchbook be also open to people being able to look inside of it. And people would see these naked bodies and be like, oh, why are you drawing naked bodies? And it's like, baby, it's like you haven't even seen a naked body before. Like, why are you asking me that question? You know? These are statues, yes, but it's also a great appreciation of our bodies, of every curve, of every line, of the things that other people would consider, you know, imperfect or weird to show, or weird to, you know, let be so openly viewed. This is the poem that I wrote about this. Touch my body yours. Let jittery freedom sing, linger, and hold. A soul's vehicle is to adore. But link my soul with yours, seek, feel, and see. Find tangible my soul in the moment. Your soul and mine meet. Yours mine and mine yours. And then around one of these women is, hoe wil je echt in het wereld staan? How do you want to stand in the world? That's exactly what we've been talking about. I have goosebumps like crazy. It's exactly what we've been talking about this whole reading. How do you want to stand in this world with the vehicle, with the body, with this beautiful gift that we have, with the masterpiece of a body? I remember writing this poem, and yeah, in a way, it reminded me of how I'd want somebody to touch me, but deep down I also felt like it's also a reminder for yourself. It's an ode to being able to feel this jittery freedom of this connection of soul and a vehicle. It's beautiful. I do want to go to what I was saying earlier. Like, I feel like I should just literally read my art and use my art as and when I say art, not only the ones that I've been working on for an exhibition that I'm trying to do, but also the works that I made when I was younger, because it's all relevant. I don't think art can ever be outdated in that way. There are always messages to be found, to be learned from. Now, I'm trying to find a particular image here, which I hope I can find, because it was describing what I was mentioning about plant people. Yes, fuck yes. Yeah. Moea aliciarne. Fuck! The Alici. Listen, guys, in my previous school, we had a type of competition thing or something like that, where we would create artworks that would represent different worlds, and I was immediately drawn to the idea of similar inspiration that I got from Valerian and 1,000 Planets. That's one. And inspiration that I got from Avatar, with the blue people, the blue aliens. But I turned things around, because to me, it was giving me a different feeling. It was giving me a feeling of this world is actually a world where us human beings, us bodies that move like this and we're actually not, we're actually plants. We're actually plants. So I also created a world where I also talked about reproducing and reproductive systems and how that would work with these people, how they would reproduce. Remember when we were mentioning about Venus and Mars? And I was like, yeah, but if all women came from Venus, how would they reproduce? Like, how would that make sense? Right? Like, if we don't have an organ to stick something inside of us, for example. This is Moea lirciarne. It is a name that I gave to this type of species. This is a being made of plant, and they've got echolocation fungi. I got creative, guys. I love seeing the possibility in everything, and whether or not people believe or say like, oh, that's likely not true and that wouldn't be possible. It's possible in my mind. And if you do not have the ability to see creatively, to see the potential in things, I'm sorry. And I really hope that my art inspires you and to see a different perspective, because this is also me looking at things logically and creatively. Just shifting the perspective of things. Monarch, which is placed here. It's a bone piercing. It's given to the Alisi when they come of age. So this is also spiritual. This is also when it comes of age to reproduce or to be in a state to reproduce. Okay, it is similar to what tribes like the Maasai have. Maybe not when it comes to piercings or it's not only the Maasai. I'm sorry I can't bring it up now, but also tribes where they have rings to also show how old somebody is, or hairstyles to show these things. They have green skin, plant-like, very smooth and like very waxy too, because they've also got waxy cuticles, I believe. Also stomata that breathe, so their skin also breathes. All right. And then in the center here, in their belly button, they have got a floweret. I call it a floweret. It is also beautiful. It looks like, I think everybody has a different floweret, and it's so beautifully unique to them. Like, it reminds me of how orchids, they also look very, very unique. Different species, different types that have been bred, right? It's like that. It's very personal to the person. It's very unique to their energy signature, and very unique to who they are. So the floweret here is where a fertilized monarch egg pod is placed. So this whole sex idea that we were talking about, and having to plant a seed, and intercourse and connecting. This idea is different, because this idea is the energy that's giving me is more, if you did want to reproduce, it would have been a choice. It would be something that you'd be coming of age of, and something in your body, in your hormones, and all that you are, and your expression, and likely what your mission is, what you are here to do, It will guide you when to place this egg inside of your floweret, where, similar to a plant, it's like pollen being received by a stigma. And like that, you've got ovaries. Ovaries, ovules growing then. It's kind of interesting and intense right now, because I was wondering, alright, and now how would it look like to give birth? And at first I was like, yeah, we'll just have to come out the floweret. Like, the person's stomach will have to blossom like this flower. Can you see that? Like that. And then, yeah. And then for some reason in my mind it was like, yeah, but then the mother dies. Yeah, because it seems like a sacrifice. It seems like whoever is guided to hold and bear children, because what I'm getting is that in this community, the people who bear children, the ones who come of age, but who, it's like a calling. Not everyone gives birth. Not everyone just reproduces, because they also have lots of ovules. Or you can place lots of ovules. I'm not quite sure where I was going with that, actually. But something around that notion of only particular people would feel inclined and feel that they can hold and bear this responsibility. For they're not only producing new heirs, but heirs that are strong, heirs that have certain traits. That are likely to benefit everybody else in time, in the community, and the planet, and the world itself. And it's not saying that, oh, even if one of these Alisi, if they did feel like, maybe I do want to have children, I'm getting it just doesn't work like that. These are human problems, and I don't think they have that. I feel like they've already gone through that. They've already been like, yeah, whoever just has that in their mind, and a group of people who might also choose, but then that also gets a bit biased, or at least it's gotten biased with us, right? On this planet, people also choose, who they favor. That's not how it works, because in this community, everyone just knows that they just need the better for everyone. And whoever feels that they are able to produce that and be that for the community and the planet, it's a great honor. And it's not an honor that is, feared as well. It just, it's like you're doing a duty, and it's like chosen. And unfortunately, at times it might even mean a suicide mission. That once all of these things are born, that you die. But what I get is, because also she's plant, also because life and death is part of this rebirth, okay? Death and rebirth, like we were mentioning. The cycle of life, of returning to the earth, returning to everything again, is the whole point, is the whole reason. You might not return in the same form, but maybe in the form of a sand grain, of wind, of maybe a plant, because in this world the plants are actually meat. They're like they're cannibals. They eat meat, and what I don't want to say they eat meat, but they themselves are flesh with red blood cells and iron. Yeah. I even made a drawing here. This is the Alisi placing the egg into the flowerette, and this is how the pregnancy looks. Monarch bone piercing. Moea alisiarni. Genus and species. So there are also different genuses, of course, when it comes to the species. And it's quite interesting because also I say monarch bone piercing. It is also tribal, or it can also even be, because that's what I'm getting, it's also a male. So the other genus is more of egg providing. Man, how that would work, I don't know. I didn't think of it. I didn't think of how they'd produce an egg and sort of take it out and give it. It's like a ring. It's kind of beautiful, actually. But this bone is like, when you come of age and when you find somebody that you do want to have a child with or have the egg come from, the bone piercing and it's like, where does the bone come from? Guys, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm literally, I think I needed to say what I needed to say. I don't want to make this too long, and I always end up making it an hour, and I'll say, okay, amount of time. Yeah. But yeah. I just feel like, yeah, I think it was good that I also showed you some of my sketches and my drawings. I know there are a lot of my older works. I still appreciate them. They still have as much value to me. And yeah, I'm really glad that we were able to talk about these things together and to release these things, and yeah, to help guide us in a different direction now. Sense of hope. Yeah. Yes, sir. Because now we're able to love ourselves again properly. We've been doing other things and making sure that we eat proper and things like this. Even that can be a bit wonky sometimes, but again, don't let the magic and the illusions and whatever type of weird other imagination things that get crossed in your mind that don't make sense to prevent you from a death and rebirth. And there's no way that it can prevent you from a death and rebirth, because we're already in the death and rebirth stage. We just need one more step. So I want to say thank you once again, and I hope to see you next time. Lots of love, Rojo.